Hi, this is Stan. Welcome back to the Crow's Nest Railroad. Well, we're on the road over at Bob's shop today for another Chloe update. We've got a couple of projects. We need to cut a hole in a wrapper for the boiler, and we need to roll it and get it into a tubular shape. So if that sounds like fun, hope you can join us. All right, here's Bob, and he'll let us know exactly what we have in store for this week's episode.
Hello, welcome back to the Roper Straus Shops. What we're going to show you here is a templating technique to put boiler wrappers around any boiler you've got. You saw an earlier episode where we were welding rings on the boiler shell proper, and those rings space out these wrappers. What you're seeing here are the paper templates. So I cut a template, positioned the holes where the holes in the boiler would be, and ended up with making some sheet metal flat matches. So this particular pattern fits right on top of that particular piece of sheet metal. So it was the templates that allowed me to make sure that the holes in the sheet metal are in the right position once we roll these around, and that'll be coming up here shortly. So what we've done here in this instance is made the third wrapper, which is going to be part of this project. So this is the big sheet, and this turns out to fit just nicely in that zone there. So this hole has been identified from the template, and we're going to pick a 4-inch hole saw that lines up with that hole, and then we're going to spin this saw in the drill press under slow speeds and cut our way through this. That's a better, smoother, cleaner cut than if I did that with a pair of tin snips, and it leaves a nice edge. Then we're going to split that down the middle and notch the sides for wrapping around the firebox, all as part of this piece right here. Alright, so we've got a 4-inch hole saw here. We've got our steel sheet, 22 gauge steel sheet. I'm going to lubricate this a little bit because we're cutting through steel here with a high-speed steel saw. So let's see if we can do that without hurting ourselves. I've got an extra brace on this. Should this begin to want to rotate, it would also hit the back of the column when it did that. So I think we're good to go. So at this point we're going to turn it on. Clearly having a problem. Well, alright, so we managed to work our way through the hole with the hole saw, and then of course we got this nice slug, which turns out to be useless for anything, but I always keep them because someday I might need a big washer, and a 4-inch washer is hard to come by.
Alrighty, that looks really cool. Now there's kind of rough edges on that circle, Bob, so what's next?
We're going to take a deburring tool to go around the edge in this fashion. And we'll still have to dress it up a little bit even after the deburring tool. And there you go.
Now, Bob, I don't have one of those. What does that tool look like?
This is a simple, this is a simple tool. This is a deburring tool. So it has a cap that comes off where the various pieces are stored. They have varying style cutting blades. This extends out if you pull it far enough, giving you some protection against your hand.
What does the tip look like?
The tip looks like a curved hook, and it's ground sharp on both sides of that.
Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit on that. Okay, and what does it do? Just kind of scratch?
It scratches and chamfers that edge. When you come in there with the tool, it cuts that little burr right off as this swings around that edge. So you put that tool on the burr, wrap that around the edge, and it takes that right off. If you've never seen one of these before, they're pretty handy. If you have, you know all about them. But they're used in the sheet metal work a lot, and I use them periodically for both sheet metal and regular steel. They can be used for deburring holes or other items that you might have. So that's
Cool.
very handy. Gives you an adjustable length if you need to reach into a hole, and there you go. All right, now we've got the template sitting on the piece we just cut the hole out of, but there's a little more going on. As you can see, the template is slotted and is a short on these corners. So we're going to try and set this up, and we're going to try and cut that and cut that in advance of the roll. All right, so we're at the point where we need to start notching this to match our pattern, which we've got right here. So we've got a center notch down the middle of this, so we're going to do that right here, flipping it around to where it's convenient for me, and we're just going to try and cut that line, which ought to be fun, fun, fun. Okay, there's that. Cut more or less correctly in the right spot, we hope. So we're going to set this up. Now I don't know where we're going to have to adjust it, so I'm going to make an initial start here and see what happens with the curve. Close enough for the league we're playing in. About a 6-inch diameter. We're touching at the bottom, so we're right on the money.
All right, Bob. There it is on the.
On the locomotive, we are slotted around that. This looks like it will fit properly around that, and this we're going to compress and straighten so that will fit right like it needs to fit around that wrapper and the right spots. So we are golden. Goldie oldies, I call it.
And the other two pieces will fit, in front of
there.
that.
That's correct. So that will wrap there and there.
Well, that's awesome, Bob. Thank you so much for showing us the whole process of drilling out the sheet, cutting it, wrapping it, and it'll be great to see how this develops on the Chloe. That's going to do it for this week on the Crow's Nest Railroad. Thank you so much for watching. See you right here next time.